Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to the farm. By popular request, we're going to do today's video. Folks have been asking me about our shop building and our multiple buildings here on the farm. They've been asking me about the sizes of them, what we would do differently, and the cost of each building. So today we're going to go around and give you guys some cool ideas on how to get budget buildings on your farm or on your property. If you're just starting out, if you just bought some bare property, what to do, how to do this without breaking the bank. You can spend 15 grand on a building like this versus 40 grand on a building like this. Come along, we'll have some fun. All right, so the first building we're gonna go visit is right down here by the chicken coop, and it's basically a carport. Pretty inexpensive. It's about the cheapest building you can put up to get things undercover, and we've got our new skid loader up underneath there. It's where I used to store our pickup truck and our tractor when we first moved up here, and then we expanded and got some bigger buildings. So this is the first building that we're going to take a look at. Now this is a 26 by 18, so 26 by 18. 18 wide is just about big enough to stuff 2 cars in. You don't want to go any narrower than 18 wide, I'll tell you that. Now we've got our skid loader up underneath here. Now we're going to walk around over here and you can kind of get a look. Everything on the farm kind of has this barn red with a tan trim. So pretty much everything is matching on the farm right here. This is the cheapest style building that we could get. It's around $1,400 for this size building. You're not going to beat that when it comes to buying lumber and tin and everything. And that is an all-inclusive price. In other words, they come out, they erect it in about 3 hours, and they're done. Totally done, leveled, ready to rock and roll. And you can see the tin on this in some places would not work. So if you got a lot of snow, you wouldn't want your tin running this way. We're here in north central North Carolina in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we don't get a really heavy snow load. So that works really good just for getting stuff under cover. Now you could buy this to put your hay underneath, you could put equipment underneath. It's an inexpensive way to put stuff under cover. Let's look at the construction of this building. This tubing is 2-inch square tubing. I do not know the gauge of tubing it is, but there are 2 options. You can get one that's not certified or one that's certified. I think the certified will take you up to 150 mile/hour winds. Now, they're anchored down with mobile home anchors. We'll show you those real quick, but again, this is just one solid piece of tubing that goes all the way up inside here, and they were probably every 6 feet or so. Basically every building here is like that, except for the tin roof is a little bit different and the truss system is a little bit different. As you can see, if you got a heavy snow load on this, it's liable to collapse. And we got 16 inches of snow on top of this here in North Carolina about 2 years ago. And I actually raised the bucket up on the tractor to where it was touching the ceiling just in case we got too much snow load. But 16 inches of snow and it held it just fine. That's really saying something. These buildings are tough, they're very robust, but if you bump into it with a tractor, it ain't gonna bounce back like a wooden building, like a wooden pole structure. As you can see right here, we clipped it with the edge of the bucket. So that's one of the downsides to having these steel buildings. If you bump into it, you're gonna have to replace a leg. This is a replacement leg. We backed into it with a tractor too. You're gonna run into stuff on your farm, I guarantee you, no matter how careful you are. Let's show you the anchors that are holding this thing down. Okay, so all 4 corners have a mobile home anchor system, and as you can see, rebar has been driven down into here also. So they're anchored in several places, but mainly all 4 corners are what needs to be anchored with the mobile home anchor. And this is like a corkscrew that screws down into the ground about 2.5 to 3 feet. Let's go look at the big building where all the tractors are. Boy, the cows know the sound of that Kubota. We give our cows a little scoop of sweet feed every day, and I think they burn more calories than they eat when they go get that sweet feed. This is the building we call the tractor shed. This building is a 24 by 36, and 24 is important when we get down to the other building, the nicest building, the last building we're going to show you. 24 is a big difference from 26, and we'll talk about that. So a 24 by 36 inch building. This building is facing north to south. I'll never do that again. I will always face my buildings east to west. You know why? because the sun never shines in here, and if the floor gets wet with moisture, or moisture actually seeps up through the ground into the shop, it stays kind of moist, and we don't want it to do that because that's going to rust out tractors and machinery parts. So what we have here is a fully enclosed side on each side. This building has the gable roof with the enclosed eaves right here. We paid right at $42.50 for this building. I'll have a link at the end of this video to the construction of this one. We actually had started the YouTube channel in time, and we got out here and we showed how this building was constructed from start to finish in one day. Let's go inside. This also has the 4-inch tubing. It's a certified building. In other words, it's up to 150 mile-an-hour winds, I do believe. It's a great building. Let's take a look inside. So this is our Massey Ferguson 240. Again, the 2x2 square tubing construction. There's a leg and a roof piece right here. You have a brace, and in the center, in the middle here, you have another brace. That's different when you go up to a 26 foot wide. You have a welded truss versus just this brace. In other words, you get a whole lot tougher building, in my opinion, with a welded truss. We'll go down and look at the other building and kind of explain that to you. Again, around $42.50 is what we paid for this, and this will keep a lot of hay under shed and a lot of tractors under shed. So once we build our big 50 by 100 shop, we'll be using this for hay storage. All right, as we're driving away from the tractor shed, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Take whatever size building you think you're going to need and just about double it, and that might get you by. We thought we had plenty of storage and plenty of space, but we sure don't. Let's cruise on down here to the other building, our shop building with the roll-up garage doors. All right, just for giggles, this is the doghouse, okay? So this is a smaller version of the first one I showed you. Basically, we set this up as a dog kennel so that the dogs would have plenty of cover. There's a minimum size option. In other words, we ordered the minimum size and they cut it down for us just to build our dog area. That's a nice doghouse. This building here is a 26 by 40, a 26 by 40. The 40 foot is how long it is, and the 26 is how deep it is. I would definitely recommend going at least 26 deep. I would really go 36 deep if I had to do it again, and I would do a 36 by 50. And you're gonna find out why here in just a minute. We've got a Willis Jeep project that we started working on, I guess it was last year about this time, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we have a mess in here, so I can't get to the Jeep until we get the mess out. I've got a tractor in here and a whole bunch of stuff. We need a bigger building. But let's go inside here and take a look. Again, this is a 26 by 40. See what I'm talking about? What a mess, what a mess. If any of you guys are curious about the tractor project, we're getting there, I promise. And the Willis Jeep is right here, and right over there is the body of the Willis Jeep. You can see we've got a mess. We've got a bunch of stuff in here. This is clean, guys, this is clean. Build your building twice as big as you think you need to. So we have a wood stove in here. This building is not insulated. If I had to do it again, I would have paid the extra amount of money to put the insulation in. And the insulation they put in these buildings is a relatively inexpensive. I think it's a R10 or a R9 or something like that. It's kind of a bubble wrap. One of you techo guys, let me know what that is, but it's a bubble wrap with a radiant barrier, and basically it just knocks the heat off in the summertime and knocks the cool off in the winter. Now we've got some LED lights in here, very, very bright. This is the Welded Truss. Okay, let's get over here where you can see the Welded Truss a little better without the light blinding you. So this is the Welded Truss, and you can see I have boards stored up here. It opens up opportunity for you to have some overhead storage with the Welded Truss, and I totally believe, here's a better look at it, this Welded Truss is a whole lot stronger than just this type of bracing. So this one includes this bracing on the side and a Welded Truss all the way across. Again, if I had to do this myself one more time, I would have probably built a lot bigger building, 36 deep by 50 wide. It wouldn't have increased the price by more than $2,000 or $3,000. Now this building with concrete, and we have a concrete floor and we have sidewalks outside, is about $14,500. That's what we have in it, $14,500. That includes our door openers, our insulated doors in case we ever want to insulate this building, 2 walk-in doors right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows. So we wanted plenty of natural light to come in this building, and we thought we'd have plenty of room to store all the stuff we needed, but we don't. Let's tell you a little bit about these steel buildings and some of the woes that we have with these steel buildings. So sometimes they shrink, sometimes they swell. So when it's really, really cold outside, sometimes the outside doors are really hard to shut because all this metal has shrunk. Now they will keep things a little bit warmer. So in other words, when it's 25 degrees out here, it's probably 30 degrees in there. So it stays a little bit warmer. We've only had a deep freeze inside this building. I'm gonna say one time I've seen a pot of water that we keep on the stove freeze. So it was down to like 18 degrees. So it'll hold a little bit of heat. The concrete floor in there will hold a little bit of heat. If we had to do it again, we would have gone bigger. Insulated doors, awesome, not loud, not clangy. We did put gutters on this building because it did not come with gutters. It has boxed in eaves and it's fully surrounded. You also had the option of running your tin on the side this way or this way. It was about $1,000 more to run my tin up and down. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it on a budget, and I hope that's what you guys are doing. So I hope this gave you guys some cool ideas on ways to put budget buildings on your property. Again, I think we're about 1,800 bucks for the one right down here. That'll hold 2 cars or 2 tractors. We've got around 14.5 for this one right here. It is a 26 by 40, and the one up top is 4250, and it's not fully enclosed and nice like this, and it was around 4,250 bucks. Cool. Guys, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this little video. By popular request, everybody wanted to know about the buildings here on the farm. This is farm buildings on a budget. We're going to build a nice, big, insulated shop soon, but we couldn't afford that when we first moved up here. So this is what we're doing. This is our house. We paid 3,500 bucks for that mobile home. It's a 14 by 80. Maybe one day we'll go in there. All right? See you guys next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Please pound that like button on your way out the door, and I look forward to seeing you again. All right?
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.